Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the top teams for the Kommo-o Community Day, which is today while I'm recording this as well. Sorry for this video being a bit too late. I mean, the Community Day is literally today, but actually thought it was on Sunday, so yeah, sorry for that. But today, Sunday, Community Day for Kommo-o in this Pokemon is absolutely amazing for PvP, absolutely a must-have, and Clanging Scales is one of the strongest moves that ever been created. If you didn't know, Clanging Scales is a 45 energy move that does 120 damage and drops your own defense by one stage after usage, which is basically just a way stronger version of close combat with less of a drawback. So this is making Clanging Scales absolutely the best move to run on Kommo-o, no matter which kind of Kommo-o set you're gonna run, because it's the hardest hitting move. It has the chance of, just generally does tons of one-shotting Pokemon. And we see here already a very solid team with this Pokemon here as well, which is going to be Gligar on the lead, the Steelix as a Say-Swap, and Kommo-o on the back. Steelix Kommo-o is going to be one of the best combinations that you can run, generally speaking, as Kommo-o going to be weak to the Fairy as well as the Flying typing, which the Steelix is both going to be completely destroying, especially with Thunderfang. And then you're going to have, of course, the weakness of Steelix being like Fire, for example, and Water, which both Kommo-o are going to be able to beat. So it's going to be a very perfect core together. And Gligar here in the lead is kind of more of a neutral Pokemon where you kind of want to play out maybe the lead matchup. If it's going to be a Water type Pokemon, you can swap out still into your Steelix because you have Thunderfang on it. And so this team makes a lot of sense here. On paper, the only Pokemon that's going to be a bit difficult is going to be the Alolan Sandslash. What we see here though on the Kommo-o moveset is already that you're going to have a moveset without any kind of coverage. It's only a pure Dragon type moveset, which not always going to be the best moveset that I think is going to be here for the Kommo-o. I could even see that Brick Break or Close Combat over Dragon Claw would have a lot of play as well, and we're gonna maybe explore this option even in today's video. So, next up, here we're going to have a team with the Stunfisk in the lead. You can also use Gastrodon, which gives you a bit better coverage against Ice-type Pokemon. So, Gastrodon helps you out, for example, with the difficult matchups here. Gastrodon going to struggle a little bit against some other Pokemon, though, makes it a bit more difficult against Pokemon like a Germnaa. But if you, for example, go for Gastrodon Ferret and have the Kommo-o, you're going to have you in a very solid spot as well there. But as you can see here, where the Stunfisk excels is going to be against those Germnaas, for example, or those Tinkaton. This is why we have this Pokemon here. Still, Gastrodon can deal with them. It's not that this Pokemon cannot deal with them at all. Stays up here. Moltres is fine. Ferret is also the same kind of way fine. And in the back, we're going to have the Kommo-o. We kind of want to have a lead here that kind of beats something like a Germnaa and then bait it out with a Say-Swap. That was kind of the main idea behind it. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea. Should kind of work out quite well. And you have again that Ice-type weakness, which you have just because you're running both Moltres as well as Kommo-o and Stunfisk. They're all kind of weak to Ice. But you can again negate this here one as well if you're going to encounter a lot of the Ice-type Pokemon by running Gastrodon and Ferret instead of the lead in the Say-Swap, which also should work out a very similar way. And here we're going to take a look at the third team for the Open Great League. We have teams, by the way, which I forgot to say, for Great League, Ultra League, and Master League. Here, 6 teams in total, so hopefully this helps you out as well. For this team, I actually didn't find a single difficult matchup. Like, this team for the Open Great League just has play against basically everything, which is really cool. And so we're going to have Kommo-o here, we're going to have the Steelix as a Say-Swap, we're going to have the Scissor in the back, the Shadow Scissor with a Bullet Punch, Night Slash, and Trailblaze. So we're going to have a lead that's very weak to Fairy type and Flying type Pokemon. We're going to have 2 Steel type Pokemon in the back, which of course can cover them. Steelix is going to function here as a perfect Say-Swap for this team as well, as Scissor can have some problems against Water type Pokemon, even though you have Trailblaze, but Bullet Punch is resisted on Water type Pokemon. You're going to be able to bait them out with Steelix and still punish them with Thunderfang, as well as, yeah, Scissor, of course, being weak to Fire-type Pokemon, you're going to already bait them out with the Steelix. If it's a Talonflame, Steelix actually has potential to win this matchup as well, which is just showcasing again on how perfect this team actually works. And we see it here on paper as well. This team basically doesn't really have a weakness. Yes, Primeape apparently is going to beat the team here, but Primeape doesn't want to take the fast move pressure that we have with this team. We have insane amount of fast move pressure with both Dragon Tail and the Bullet Punch mainly. Thunderfang as well, especially with Psychic Things later on, is going to hurt quite a bit as well. And so this team basically doesn't really have big weakness in my opinion. Any Pokemon you can kind of deal with, and that just is kind of insane. So yeah, this team looks really, really good. Definitely give it a try. And we can move on now to the Open Ultra League, where we have kind of the exact same team here, to be fair. We just have the Bellybolt in the back. You can also still use a Scissor. Scissor, I'm not the biggest fan in the Ultra League for. Bellybolt is just a little bit of an upgrade. Again, you're going to be able to have 2 time coverage for a flying type Pokemon with an electric type, and a Pokemon with electric type coverage. And then you're going to have also with Bellibolt a Pokemon that's going to be still a bit struggling against fairy type Pokemon. But actually not that much. Like if you're going to encounter, for example, a fairy type in the lead, I would rather safe swap into your Bellibolt than the Steelix. Because like Bellibolt still has a lot of play. Bellibolt is just the best Pokemon in the meta, just full stop. Like there's nothing else you can really say about it. Bellibolt is just the strongest Pokemon in the Open Ultra League, so it just makes sense that this Pokemon is here. Funnily enough, which you can see as well, Bellibolt apparently wins against Steelix, which is kind of hilarious because you have a ground type against an electric type, and the electric type wins even though it doesn't have coverage against it. But yeah, this is going to be a very solid team here, and what you see as well is that Kommo-o is running a double nuke moveset, which just allows you to basically guarantee a shield. Anytime this Pokemon gonna get to a charge move, it's very likely gonna get shielded, unless you're gonna go up against the Galarian Weezing, which double resist all of your hits, which is going to be the the worst Pokemon to encounter for this Pokemon here. There's some other ones going to be a bit more trickier as well, but yeah, Galarian Weezing is the hardest answer to any kind of Kommo-o. Next up, we're going to have here, by the way, if you hear the birds in the background, very sorry about that. Next up, we're going to have here the lead of Jellicent, the Saysop of Cradily, and the Kommo-o in the back. This is going to be a very solid team as well, with Jellicent, Kommo-o also having a very, very good synergy, as Jellicent also going to be able to beat, for example, Ice-type Pokemon that you want to beat there. And in the Ultra League, you don't have to worry about the really tough matchup that usually Jellicent would be struggling with. Here, any kind of fairy type is kind of okay for the Jellicent, as all of them, yeah, are just very neutral. We're going to have Cradily here, having Acid as well, going to be good against the fairy type Pokemon, as well as giving coverage against the flying type Pokemon, thanks to Rock Tomb on this thing, which is going to be just, again, a very, very solid team. The only Pokemon that I have found that really could, yeah, give this team some trouble is Pangoro, not because Pangoro is unbeatable with this team, absolutely not. Like Pangoro here is going to have even some problems against like the Kommo and whatever. Like it's not the best matchup generally speaking, but it can break the lead in the Saysop, and that's kind of why this Pokemon is on that list. It's the kind of only Pokemon where you can really break the lead as well as the Saysop with. And so yeah, Pangoro here is going to be a Pokemon that can be a bit difficult, but we can now take a look at the Master League team. This is the only Master League team that I have here. This is going to be with the Ho-Oh in the lead, the Palkia with Fire Blast, if you have a Draco Media one. I actually would recommend you to go for Fire Blast on your Palkia Origin, because it can lead up to situations where you can just one-shot Pokemon like the Zacian and the Samazenta. I don't know if it's actually completely one-shots them, but it does definitely a ton of damage. So I would actually go for that, and Kommo-o on the back. Kommo-o isn't the best for the Open Master League. That's just full stop the case. Like there's nothing that you can really say against that. Like that's just how this is. Yeah, struggles against a lot of the Pokemon in this meta, but still, this is kind of the only team that I would recommend you for the Open Master League. I do think that Kommo-o though has some play in the Master League Premier Cup. And with that, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you have a great community day. I hope this video wasn't too late for you as well. I mean, you only have the Master League currently available, so hopefully this is some information for you when you want to use it for the Great and Ultra League. And I will see you then. Bye bye.